Humankind has always needed clean drinking water to survive. The human body can only survive 3 or 4 days without water. The need for clean drinking water has done more to shape our civilization today as we know it than anything else in history. Most major cities are built along rivers or other sources of water. Early man made crude canteens out of animal skins or bladders to transport water. Early forms of pottery were used to transport and store water. During the Neolithic era, the first permanent water wells were dug. These date back to around 6,500 BC. The Mesopotamians introduced the world to the first clay sewer pipes. These date back to around 4000 BC. Early examples of these are found at the Temple of Bel in Nippur, and these were used to remove wastewater from homes and also to capture rainwater and direct it to wells. Throughout history you can find examples of well digging and drilling and gravity-fed water supplies feeding homes to remove wastewater. You find examples of these in all major continents: China, India, Egypt, Europe, even the Inca civilization at Machu Picchu. The first priority of plumbers today is to protect the water supply. Safe practices, engineering, and many safe practices are in place to do this. Most people are aware of the extensive water system in the Roman Empire, the aqueducts, the bathhouses, the sanitation systems. Most Romans used lead in water applications at this time. The word plumber dates back to the Roman Empire. The Latin word for plumber, or lead, is plumbum. Because lead was used in so many applications, it is believed that most Romans had some degree of lead poisoning. It is also believed that the high-born Romans sipped beverages cooked in lead vessels. They channeled spring water to their homes using lead pipes. Some historians will argue that some of the Roman empires had acute lead poisoning, causing them to go mad. Because lead is a known toxic substance, most cities moved away from lead during the 1920s, and in 1986, lead was banned from all potable water systems. Lead-free solder, lead-free fittings, and valves all had to be used on potable water systems today. Another failure in plumbing was during the 1933 World's Fair in Chicago. There was an outbreak of dysentery. 1,704 cases with 98 deaths were reported. Because the outbreak was so widespread throughout the United States, the Illinois Department of Public Health took about 4 months to link all these cases together to one common thread of guests who stayed at the Congress Hotel in Chicago. It was found to have faulty plumbing, causing a contaminated water supply. Now, think about the Dark Ages. After the fall of the Roman Empire, many advances we made in water handling were lost or forgotten. During the Dark Ages, fresh drinking water was scarce, and to dispose of your wastewater, you simply threw it into the street. This led to widespread disease and also was a major contributing factor to the plague. Although many advances were made after the Dark Ages, one man sort of stands out. His name, Thomas Crapper. Yes, this is a real person. Thomas Crapper was an Englishman English businessman and plumber. He founded the Thomas Crapper Company in London. It was a sanitary equipment company. Crapper had 9 patents for plumbing design. 3 of them were for the toilet alone. The floating ball cock. He also improved the S-bend trap by inventing a U-bend trap, which we still use today. The biggest myth about Thomas Crapper is how the word crap or crapper is used. It is suggested that American servicemen in England during World War I were using toilets made by the Thomas Crapper Company. So they coined the phrase crapper for all toilets. Now, in 1842, New York City engineers designed a water delivery system that most cities use today. This is a gravity-designed system. As buildings were getting higher, the challenge was to provide water with sufficient water pressure to the upper floors. What they came up with was to place water towers on top of the buildings. They would pump water up and use gravity to supply water to the lower floors. Many cities today, most cities today, still use this theory or this system. In Lewiston, Auburn, you will find our reservoirs at the tallest places in the city. In cities that don't have high elevation or much elevation change, you will find water towers. Pump the water up, gravity does the rest. Now, water is essential in today's life. We turn on the faucet and get a glass of cold drinking water. We wash our hands. Imagine our current pandemic if we didn't have clean water to wash our hands. So the next time you turn on your faucet to get a glass of cold water, rest assured your water is safe and your local plumber is doing everything in their power. So, thank you and drink up.